Okay, wait. So we are live on Get Set Up. Can you make me co-host?
Okay, I can do that. All right, there you go. Good morning.
Morning, Wade.
Hi, Elaine. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good morning.
Hey, Ed.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Emily.
Good morning, Wade. Good morning, Wade.
Hi,
Hi,
good
everyone.
to see you. Let's see, who else is here? Barbara? You're here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Terry. Good. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you back. All right, there you are. Okay. Okay, so got a few more people that are probably going to be joining us this morning. So we're going to hang out just a couple of minutes and give them a chance to get in. Thanks everybody for joining us fairly early in the morning. Not, depending on which coast you're on, it's very early in the morning. Anybody from the West Coast? Oh,
It's
Emily?
7:30 here.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for getting up very early. So
I'm
it's,
the early bird.
it's 10:30 here in North Carolina, so been up for a while here. There's Phyllis coming in. Hey, Phyllis, can you hear me? All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started with some of the housekeeping and setup here while we're giving everybody else another minute or two to get here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so you should be seeing my my slides in my phone. And I'm putting your pictures over here on my other monitor so I can see you. There we go. Looks like Gloria's coming in. Okay. Hey, Gloria, can you hear us? And if you can hear me, just unmute and let me know. So I'm just checking people's on. Phyllis, I see you're unmuted. Let's see. And Jean?
Yes,
Hi, good morning.
good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. And we'll probably remute several times during the course of the class if we start to pick up any background noise. So just remember to check your microphone before you ask a question or make a comment. Make sure you're unmuted. If you aren't, go ahead and just unmute yourself and ask your question. Don't need to raise your hand or anything, just unmute and ask away. And I'm also going to open the chat and have this available so I can see it. And Victor is here from our Get Set Up TA group. He's going to help manage the chat as well as managing the class. Morning, Victor. Thanks for joining us. All right, let's do this. All right. And cease has come in. Okay, so we usually take the first 4 to 5 minutes, give people a chance to get here from their other classes, make sure everybody's technology is working. I think I've heard from most of the people. Morning, Cease. So you just came in.
Good morning.
Hi, welcome. If anybody is having any technology issues, Victor can help you with that. So all right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. And so this is iPhone personal safety features. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy the class. My name is Wade Yarbrough, and I'll be the guide for your session today. A little bit about me. I'm from a small town called Mason, Tennessee, about 500 people just outside of Memphis, Tennessee. I got my PhD in psychology, but also minored in computer science. So I've kind of been jumping back and forth between psychology and technology for most of my career. And I've done a lot of adult training in both scenarios. A lot of my career was designing, installing, and supporting hospital information systems, where I did a lot of adult training as well. But what I love teaching here at Get Set Up is that I'm teaching people that are here because you're interested in the topic, not because someone made you come to the class, which makes it much more enjoyable for me. And that's what we try to do at Get Set Up, is to create a scenario where you can come in and take classes you're interested in, but be with other people that are interested in the same topic. You can interact with each other as well as interacting with the guide. So we hopefully make it a very comfortable, interactive environment. That's why we do ask people to turn their cameras on if they're comfortable doing that. It makes it feel a little bit more open and interactive, but certainly is not required. The session is being recorded, and any participant can request a copy of that recording just by emailing help@getsetup.io. And I think Victor has put that in the chat as well. So if you don't have this email address in your email contacts, go ahead and copy that and put it into your contacts. We are live streaming the class today as well. So I do want to welcome anyone that is joining us via the live stream. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoy the class as well. But just want to remind you that to get that full Get Set Up experience where you can interact with the other learners and ask questions of the guide, you do need to go to our website and sign up for the class. And finally, Get Set Up is not paid to promote any of the products that we train on. We are purely trainers. So let's talk about the agenda for today. So there is a theme for today, which is personal safety. So we'll talk about several functions and features that have some link into personal safety. We'll talk about your medical ID, how to set one up and access the medical ID, how to find your phone if it gets lost and erase it if necessary, how to share your location with other people, and various other tips and tricks as well, just to kind of keep things interesting. So we're going to start with the medical ID. Let me just make my slides a little smaller and move the phone over a little closer to the center where it's easier to see. And if anyone is having trouble seeing my full phone, let me know and we can help you move pictures around so you can see my phone, since that's where the action is going to be today. But we're going to go into the health app, and it looks like this. So it should be somewhere on your home screen. I'm going to go ahead and start talking about it while you try and find that, and I'll check in and make sure you have found that. But inside the health app is something called a medical ID. And the purpose of the medical ID is to store information about your medical situation, your medical conditions, allergies, medications you're on. And the purpose is so that if you're in a situation where you're unconscious and need help, that the first responders or other trained medical people that find you, or maybe even just a good scenario, they can access that medical ID and get that information to the people that are going to be taking care of you. And there is an option where that medical information can be sent automatically to emergency services, the 911 operator, via a secure third-party system. So in this case, Apple would pull the information from your phone and then send it to the 911 operator. And we'll talk about how that works as well. That is an option you have. You can turn that on or off. Okay. So let's go into the health app. Does anybody needs help finding the health app? All right. And if you got that, I'm going to go ahead and open the app. And it should open to this summary screen. And where we want to go is into the profile. So that's behind your initials. So up in the upper right, there should be a gray circle with your initials on it. Touch that gray circle. That brings you into your second screen. And the second option here is medical ID.
I don't have that gray thing you're talking about. I have a person in a circle.
Okay, should be the same thing. Touch that and see if it didn't bring you here.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it's slightly different depending on the model of iPhone and the model of the operating system. So sometimes there's some slight variations. I'm on an iPhone 8 just for comparison purposes. If you're on a newer phone, it may be a little different in spots. So we're going to touch this medical ID now. That will take you to the medical ID itself. We're going to go into edit because there's some things you can only see from the edit screen. So let's touch edit. And you should see something that looks roughly equivalent to what is showing on my screen. Let me walk you through the fields. So you don't necessarily need to update it right now. You can come back after class and do this, but I want to talk about the different fields, why they're there. And the first thing is a picture. Not required, but what Apple says is it's a good idea to put a picture there in the unlikely event that the first responder gets there and picks up a phone and it's not your phone, or you've got someone else's phone for whatever reason. This makes sure that the person that they're taking care of is that person and they've got the right phone. So that's why I put my picture in there. All of this is obviously optional. Date of birth is to let them know how old you are. Sometimes age is needed for prescribing different types of medications and how they're going to proceed. So that's the reason for the date of birth. Medical conditions is where you can list medical conditions. For this and for all of the medical ID, keep in mind the scenario. This is typically you're unconscious and trained officials are going to try and take care of you. What do they need to know? They don't need to know everything about you. They need to know things that would be important in that scenario. So if you've got arthritis in your left foot, that's probably not important if you're unconscious on the street or have been in an accident. But if you're diabetic, that is very important. So, use that background to decide what conditions you want to put in there. The next section is just called medical notes. That's kind of a place to put other stuff that's not outlined in any of the defined items. I put my primary care physician in there. I think that's good information for them to know. They can call his office, talk to him or a staff member there if they need to know some things about me that aren't in my medical ID. Allergies and reactions, very important to put in there. You don't want to have them give you something that you're highly allergic to. Medication, again, this would be things that are important in that type of situation. You don't necessarily have to put everything in there. It's probably better to put too much instead of too little, but that's what the medications are. And it's primarily for anything you're taking now that something they give you might interact with. Blood type, kind of obvious, organ donor. Height and weight are again for dosing medications. And primary language is helpful as well, especially if it's not English. And then you can add medical contacts. Who do you want them to notify and say, Wade has been in an accident, he's being taken to this hospital or whatever information, or if they need information about you from someone that knows you better. And then down at the very bottom, there's a couple of other options. This is show this information even when your phone is locked. To me, that one's pretty obvious. It needs to be turned on because more often than not, in the scenario I described, your phone probably is going to be locked. So this way they can get to this information whether your phone is locked or not. It's your decision. It's your information. And then share during emergency call. And what that does, it allows Apple to share your medical ID information with the emergency services electronically. So that's what I was talking about. If this is turned on, Apple can pull that information from your file and transmit it to emergency services electronically so that they have the information. If you turn that off, there's ways that it could be communicated verbally to the 911 operator. This just sends it automatically. Questions about any of those fields or about what this whole medical ID is about?
Wait.
Excuse me, when
okay.
I tried to add my husband as a contact, he's not available. Does he have to have some kind of setup on his phone in order to do that?
He has to have a contact on your phone, so he may not be set up as a contact on your phone.
Now, I'm sure it's set up as a contact, but he doesn't have something like my location or something like that. Is there?
To my knowledge, there's nothing else you need to do. I'm just going to touch that.
Okay,
That
I'll
should
check
take
it.
you right into your contacts.
No, but he has, he calls me all the time and has me in his contacts. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. Thanks.
Yeah, so anybody in that list, you should be able to pick. So yeah, not sure what that might be. But, okay.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
Emily.
after the paragraph about your emergency contacts will receive a message. On the bottom, I don't have the show when locked and share during emergency call.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
have that section. How come? Mine is 7 plus.
You're on a
My
7 plus.
iPhone 7 plus.
Yeah, and so I'm on an 8. And so again, I think some of this wasn't available until the 8.
Okay.
Well, I have a 7 plus and it's there.
Oh, is it there? I don't have
So
it.
it could be her not
I
up to date or something.
think
or
there's a
what?
7 plus. It could be the operating system as well. Are you on 14, Emily? Do you know?
I'm updated.
Okay.
I think it's 14.4, is it?
Yep. If you're on 14 plus, you're on the most recent one. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not sure why you're not seeing that then.
So next time when I talk to the Apple technician, I should ask them about it.
Yeah, I was going to say check next time. It may even be that there's different models within, like even the 7. There's some different variations in there, so it may be. I've had people with older phones before not have some of these options, so that may be.
And another question, Wade, does any Apple will have a device to count the blood pressure? I'm thinking to change a new phone.
I don't know that it comes in. It would probably be in this app, and I'm on an 8, so it doesn't in my version. But I don't know if anybody else. I know there's some third-party apps that do that to do blood pressure.
No one has it.
Somebody else knows the one. That's something you could again check with Apple, but it should be, if they have it, it'd be in this app. And I'm gonna go ahead and cancel out of here.
Okay.
Somewhere in this Heart app, probably.
Thank you.
Yeah. But again, there are some differences there with the newer models that do some things that mine won't do. Okay. Other questions before I move on about what's in the medical ID? Because the next thing I'm going to show you is how you can access that information now that it's in there. And so this is how someone could get to your information, or maybe you're that good Samaritan. You come up on somebody that's unconscious in the street and obviously needs help, and you want to get them help. So what you can do, and I've already talked about this already. That's transmitting that information automatically. So let me show you how you can access that information. And this again depends on the phone. If you're on an 8 or newer, You can press and hold the volume and the side button. I'm going to demonstrate that for you. If you're on a 7 or older, it doesn't have this feature. So there is another way to get to it. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But if you're on this 8 or newer, what I'm going to do is push one of the volume buttons and then the side button, the on-off button. Watch my screen. And after about 2 to 3 seconds, it'll vibrate and this screen will pop up. So a couple of things I can do from here. One, I can turn my phone off. But if let's say I'm a trained professional, I'm a doctor, a nurse, or an EMT, I can just get access to that information by sliding this over. And it will open up the medical ID on this phone, even if the phone is locked. And they can now look through my information, get the information they need before they start taking care of me. I'm going to go back here. And this works on any of the phones, but this is the only option if you're on a 7 or older, is just to press the side button 5 times. And again, depending on the model, it may show you that same screen I was just on, or it may just start a countdown where it'll count down. I think it starts at 5 and counts down to 0, and then it actually calls 911 at that point. I'm gonna go back into that screen again. Now, if they whoever finds it, instead of taking care of themselves, they're not a trained professional, they want to call help, and this could be you if you find somebody, you can slide this over, and that calls that emergency SOS. So that's the option of it we were talking about, where it will send that information automatically to 911 via your phone. And when you do this, it does that same countdown. So it does give you some warning. If you do that by accident, I've never done this, I don't want to start the countdown, but it'll start counting down, gives you 5 seconds to cancel if you did it by accident, instead, so it doesn't call 911 immediately, so you don't place an inappropriate call to 911. Questions about that? So that's how someone can access your information, or you can access that information if you're the Good Samaritan that finds somebody that needs help. Now, there's another way that's probably easier, and I'll show you that one as well. So I'm going to cancel out of here. And it takes me to the login screen. And so this is where you would normally enter your passcode, or if you've got fingerprint touch or Face ID, you would unlock your phone. Down at the bottom left of this screen is the word emergency. If you touch that, it will bring you to the screen where you can make an emergency call. From here, I could just call 911. But what I can also do, instead of just calling 911, is I can access that person's medical ID. So when I call 911, I can tell them, yes, hello, this is a person here that's unconscious. His name is Wade Yarborough. He was born in 1954. He's 66 years old. And they could read that information off. And then they could actually call my wife or my brother, all using my phone. Okay. Questions? Everybody need to see that one again? Okay, and so there it is again. This is where you would click the medical ID. And here's the sign in. I need to sign back into my phone, but there's that emergency. You've probably never noticed it, but it's always down there anytime you log onto your phone. Log back into my phone. All right. So if there's no questions, let's move on to the next one. Again, if you have a question or a comment, just unmute and go ahead and ask your question. Let's talk about,
If you have some medical conditions and allergies, should you list the things you're allergic to, or just put allergies?
I would list everything. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Because it may be what's happened is it's something that it was related to an allergic reaction that you had, especially if you're very allergic.
Yes.
So yeah, I
Thank
would
you very
list
much.
everything.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I thought so too.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is sharing your location, which can be convenient, but can have some safety implications as well. And in order to share your location, you have to enable that feature in settings. So we're going to go into settings first to turn on the feature, then I'll show you how to use the feature. If you aren't comfortable sharing your location until you hear about it, you don't have to do this right now. You can do it after you see how it works. You can always get a copy of the recording if you need help going back and finding some of this stuff. But we're going to go into settings, and you're going to touch your name at the very top. And then you're going to scroll down just a hair to Find My. It's got a little green circle over here. We're going to be using this several times. So I'm going to click Find My. And there's two things we have to turn on here. One is share my location right here. So if that's not green, that's disabled. And the other thing we're going to talk about is finding your phone. So up here, you have to touch that line. It'll tell you if it's on or off, but to change it, you have to touch it. And then here you would enable Find My Phone. These other two are related. This is the one that really turns on the feature. This enables a way to find your phone through networking with other phones. I don't totally understand this one, but it sounded like a good idea, so I turned it on. And this is your phone automatically send the location of this iPhone to Apple when the battery is critically low.
I'm apparently not on the right screen. Are you on Find My Phone?
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and again, some of these options are going to vary depending on which model you've got. This is the main one, though, that we're focusing on. This is how you turn on the Find My Phone feature. If this is gray, the things I'm going to show you won't work. Again, if you want to see how it works first and then come back and turn it on, just watch my screen.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. So first we're going to talk about sharing your location. There's several ways to do it. The first way we're going to do it is with the Find My app. We were at the Find My setting. Now we want to use the associated app. And I'll show you one of my favorite shortcuts or tips and tricks. It's not on my home screen here. And in fact, it's not on any of my screens. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my finger on the screen anywhere except on the middle of an app and slide down. And this brings me to Siri suggestions, where Siri shows me apps that I've used recently. And there it is right there. So if you're looking on your home screen, you can find it. It'll look like this. If you want to get to it the way I just did, just slide down. If it doesn't show up in this list, then you can, up in the search, you can type FI. That's all you need to type in. And there's the three things that have FI in the name, and there's Find My. So 3 ways to get to it: from your home screen, from Siri suggestions, or search. I'm going to touch Find My. Take a second, make sure everybody is here. If you're trying to follow along, again, if you just want to watch on my screen, that's fine, because it's going to look a little different since some of this won't be set up on yours yet. And there's several options across the bottom. In fact, there's a new one since the last time I was in here. That's interesting. But we're going to worry about people for now. So and that's usually what's selected by default. And if not, you can tap on this people down here at the bottom left. And this shows me people that are sharing their location with me. So I can click on that person if I want to see where she is. And it brings up GPS and shows me where she is. This is my wife. We share each other's location with each other permanently, which I think is a good safety feature. Maybe she tells me she's heading off to a store that's in the next town. and she'll be back at 1 o'clock, and she's not back at 1, and it's 1:15. So I call her phone. She doesn't answer. I text her. She doesn't respond. I can come here and see where she is, and see if it's on the path it should be, and if her car is moving, because you can actually tell movement along the way. And if it looks like her car is stopped and it's on the route she should have been on, but it's kind of in a wooded area, whatever, I can get directions to where she is.
I missed
And
how you got to that.
Find her.
I missed how you got to that screen. How did you get there from?
Yep. I'm gonna go back and start all over again to
Thank you.
get everybody in here again. Now we kind of seen where it is. So did you get to the,
I got to the map, but I'm not getting to the people, because when I press people, there's several people that come up, but not what I want to have on the map. That's my kids in New York.
well, so they've shared their location with you somewhere along the way. So no,
Yeah, I suppose.
yep, I can show you how to take them off, but that's why they're there. So if you
Oh,
touch
okay.
any one of those people, it will show you where they are right now.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
In fact, let me go back into there. We'll show you that part. So I'm going to go back into my wife's here. If you scroll down, if you're also, I'm also sharing my location with her. I can stop sharing my location with her, but she would still be showing hers with me.
Yeah. How do you get rid of these?
I can remove right below stop sharing my location. I can remove. That would take her off that list.
See, I don't have that. I have just their names.
When you touch their name, their name right here.
Okay. It adds it to a text message. It looks like I would be texting them. I don't understand.
Are you sure you're in Find My? It has people down here at the
Let
bottom.
me look at that again. Okay, just a minute here. Yeah, I'm in Find My, and then people is listed under my map. So I pressed people. It also has start sharing location at the very bottom.
Yep. Okay. So I'm not sure why. Again,
People first.
yep. It should have the list of people at the top here, the map, then the list of people, and then share my location.
Well, the list of people doesn't show up until I press people.
Okay. And again, you're on a different model, probably. What model phone are you on?
iPhone 11.
Okay, so it may have changed from the 8 to the 11 in terms of how that is set up. They do change things. Emily, do you have a question too?
Yes.
Or-
When I share this, Find My, I'm sorry, with my son, so he can find me. Can I find him if he did not? The way we set up, he can find his mother, but can I find my son?
He would have to share his location with you.
Oh,
So because you control that, so you would have to tell him to come in and share his location with you. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now.
okay.
So
Okay.
you'd have to tell him to do this. He would have to go in his phone and go into share
So
my
I can
location.
know where he is then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And so I'm going to do that. So let's say I already am doing this, but I want to share my location. And I think what Cease was asking. So again, I'm not sure why you don't have the option when you touch a person to get down to them. It must be different on the newer phones than on mine, but there is a way to remove them.
Well, it
So-
says people, but in order to get to the people, I have to it doesn't even get to the people by pressing people. You have to press start sharing location, and then these people show up, but they're all in New York, and well, one is not. But anyway, I don't want them to be
Okay.
sharing my location.
Okay. Well, these are people that are sharing their location with you. You're not sharing your location with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a two one-way streets. So
But it
she could be
doesn't
sharing her
have-
location with me, but I'm not sharing my location with her.
Oh, see, I don't even have that share my location at the bottom at all. It's blank.
Okay. Not sure what's going on. That's a newer phone. I don't have a copy of that, so I'm sorry, but I can't
Okay,
I
that's
can't help
okay.
you because I can't see it. It looks different than mine. So
That's
let me
okay.
click on the share my location. I'm going to show you another way to do this, and maybe the other one will work. So I'm going to click share my location. And then you can pick who you want to share your location with.
That's what I've got right there, what you have. That's the page I've got. Okay.
Yeah, so this is how you share your location with someone else. These aren't people that have shared their location with you. These are people in your contact list.
Right. They are.
And so you can actually share your location with anyone that is in your contacts that has an iPhone.
Mm.
So if I wanted to share my location with Nancy, I could just pick her, and then you notice it puts a comma. And if I
Yes.
wanted to share my location with Pat and Ken, I could just add people.
What's the plus sign for at the far right?
Okay, we're gonna get there.
Oh,
Hang
okay.
on.
Thanks.
Okay, so you can put as many people as you want here. Well, the plus just is to add another person.
Oh, okay.
So you could either pick somebody from this list, or you could just start typing them, or you could hit the plus. So that's how you keep adding people. And when you've got as many people as you want, and let me give you a scenario that Nancy and Pat and I are going to a park, and we're going to be hiking. And so we're going to share locations with each other while we're hiking, because we're going to be taking different trails. And if somebody falls off the trail or gets in trouble, that way we'll know where they are. So I can put send, and I then have an option. How long do you want to share? So if we're going to the park and we're going to be hiking for an hour, I can just say share for an hour. So for that hour, I'm sharing my location with those two people. This is one person's phone, but the way I've got it labeled is Pat and Ken. And then at the end of an hour, it stops sharing automatically. Or I could share until the end of the day. And let me give you another scenario, which is probably even a better personal safety issue. I'm going to Terry's house, but the weather is really bad. And let's say it's winter time, and the roads are icy and it's snowing. So I can say, Terry, I'm coming over to your house, but I'm worried about the roads. I'm going to share my location with you for the next hour or until the end of the day. So you can track me while I'm coming over to your house. If I don't show up, in a reasonable amount of time, check and see where I am, and send the emergency people to come and find me in case I run off the road or something happens to my car. So that's another way to use this. If you're going somewhere and you want someone to be able to track you, or someone's coming to your house and you want to be able to make sure you can follow them and make sure they get to your house safely. Lots of scenarios where for personal safety, it's good to share your location, maybe just for a limited amount of time. And then here's where you can share indefinitely, which is what my wife and I are doing. So if it's a family member, a close friend, you want to just share your location indefinitely, you can do that.
Wait,
Uh-huh.
how did you get the last part? I missed that. The share for 1 hour, share until end of the day. How did you get that part?
When you click send.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you click send, it brings up that option. Then you pick one of these and click it, and that's what it sends. Yeah. And I'm not going to send one of those since I don't really want to share my location, but so that's how that works. So you could share for a limited period of time, or you can share indefinitely. And again, on at least some of the phones, and I'm sure on the other phones, there's a way to do the same thing. On mine, if I change my mind, or I don't know if you noticed it, she just moved. She must be driving somewhere in the car. So I could tell it just moved from one place to the next. You can come down and I could say, stop sharing my location with Michelle. And I could say, remove Michelle, which means I don't want to see her location anymore either. All right. Other questions there? Let me show you another way to do the same thing. And that's through iMessage, the text messaging. And so I'm going to go into text messaging, and I'll pick on my wife again. Let's say I'm going to select whoever I want to share with. And so I'm into the texting screen. So it's, just the same thing I would be into if I wanted to send her a text message. But instead of sending a text message, what I'm going to do is to click on her name up here. And it gives me three options. I can call her, I can start a FaceTime with her, but it has an I button. If I touch that I button, I've got two options here. I can send my current location. So this is something different than the Find My. And let me give you a scenario here. I'm out driving away from home, kind of in a rural area, and my car dies dead in the road. And so I need my mechanic to come see if he can start my car, or if he can't, to haul it in. I can say, send my current location. And then it will send my location to whoever I'm texting to, in this case, Michelle. If I was trying to get this to my mechanic, it would be Bob's Mechanic Services. And it will send a map, and I'll show you what this looks like in a minute, with where my current location is. Oops, bring my phone back. Now, in this case, he's not following me. When you're sharing your location, when you move, it shows that you're moving. This is just taking a snapshot in time, saying my car is right here. I could call my wife to come get me. I can go back home. It would still take him to where my car is, where I placed this call. The second option is the same thing we just did. You can do share my location, and you get into the same options we saw before, indefinitely until the end of the day for 1 hour. So this is another way to go in and set this up instead of using the Find My. It does give you this other option of send my current location. I did this a while back. Let me see if I can get to it. It's going to be way up here. I'm going to have to do it again. Okay. Up there it is. So this is what it would look like when I sent that message to my my mechanic. And he could just touch it like I'm going to do, and it would bring it up, and he could now get directions to where my car is and go find my car. Same thing if I ran off the road and needed help, I could text where I am to someone to come and get me. Questions on that one?
How did you get to this Let's View? I'm missing it.
Let's View has not. This is the tool I use to show my screen. That's ignore everything up here. That's not part of my iPhone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, ignore Let's View.
How did you get the location screen then?
It's just let me go in again from scratch. So you go into your iMessages.
Oh, iMessages. Okay. Let's try that. Okay.
So go to iMessages. Let me walk through again for everybody. It's a little cryptic. So you would touch the, just go to the person you want to share it with, just like you're going to send them a text message.
Uh-huh.
But instead of sending a text message, you got to touch their name at the top center.
Okay.
It opens up these three options. Click the info.
Oh, okay. That's what I was missing. Okay.
Yep. And now scroll down just a little bit, and there's send my current location or share my location.
Wait,
Uh-huh.
how can I put the right person on the top to
Yes.
send the message? Just put the name on the search.
Okay.
Like right now, I have someone I don't usually know. Like usually, I don't send it to them. I don't know them that much. How can I change the person on that top?
Oh, well, you have to pin someone up here. So if you want to put somebody up there all the time,
How do
It's
I
called-
change it?
it's called pinning, or you can unpin. Let me go into, and I think I can get there this way. I haven't done this in a while. So I'm going to touch again. I'm going to info again. And I'm going to go into info again.
So Wade, your phone didn't make it all the way onto the screen when it went away. It's a little bit off. We're only seeing part of this of your phone. At least I am.
Everybody else still seeing my full phone?
That helped.
Okay. Anybody else having the same problem as Kay? All right. I mean, I can
No, I
slide
see
over a little bit.
fine.
Okay, we'll put over.
There, that's it.
I don't remember where that is. It's called pinning.
Oh,
And there's a way you can pin that person up there. I can't remember off the top of my head how to do that.
then how do I remove them from the top?
You would unpin them, and that's what I don't remember how to
Because
pin.
I didn't pin them there, but just by accident, I had 3 person.
Yep,
on-
that's what that is. Those are people that have been pinned, but
Uh-huh.
I'll put it in the notes after class because I don't want to take any more time looking around
Okay.
trying to find it. It's called pinning.
Mhm.
I'll put it in the notes out in the email that comes in after class.
Thank you.
All right. Because there's one other thing I want to show. We're just about out of time
Hey,
here.
wait,
Uh-huh.
those 3 little buttons in that circle is how you unpin it.
Ah, right here.
Yes,
Very good. Thank you. Up there it is.
Okay. Add the
So
pin.
yeah, so you can edit the pins and so you can unpin them.
Where did you find that little circle?
It's right here.
Okay. I don't think I have that.
Okay. Maybe,
Okay.
and again, it may be different depending on the phone. It's whoever said that, and I've got the same thing. It's
Well,
the-
I just delete them instead. There's a message say delete when I put that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to do that then. Again, apologize. There's some differences depending on the phone models. So you may have to contact Apple to ask them how to unpin with your model.
Okay, thank you. Thank you anyway.
I know it makes it very hard for people trying to teach classes because it's so different.
Different device. Huh? Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, we got just a few minutes left, but I do want to show you how to find your phone. That was the last thing we wanted to show you today. Because it happens, you lose your phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my computer and open a browser and type in iCloud.com. And you'll have to enter your Apple ID and your Apple password to log in. I'm using my password manager. If you don't have one of those, we have a class on how to set up a password manager, so I didn't have to remember what my username and password was. And this is iCloud. We're going to ignore everything down here except this one on the bottom right, Find My Phone. So I click on Find My Phone. Now you've got a choice of which device you want to find. All I have is an iPhone, so mine is easy. If I had an iPhone and an iPad and a Mac, it would have me options for all of those. I only have one choice here, so I'll pick my iPhone. And it shows me where my iPhone is. I can use the plus and minus down here to drill in. As I'm drilling in, it may be a little hard to see on my screen, but you can actually see the outline of the house. That is my house. That is where I'm sitting in my house. That's probably about less than 6 feet from where I'm sitting. So it usually is accurate to within about 10 feet. So at least I know my phone is in my house somewhere. I can click play sound and it will start playing a sound on my phone. So if it's underneath the pillow on the couch or it's fallen underneath the table, I can find my phone just by walking around and listening for the sound. Let me give you a couple of other scenarios here. Maybe it shows out here. I was out working in the pruning the shrubs in the front yard and it fell out of my pocket. So again, I know it's out here, roughly 10 feet away from that spot. I would do the same thing. I would play sound and go out in the yard and walk around until I could hear it. Let me give you another scenario. I'm here at home and it says my phone is up here. That's where the grocery store is. Maybe I was at the grocery store and it fell out of my pocket in the grocery store, in the parking lot somewhere there. And that's where it is. In which case I'm going to go and try and find it. but I'm going to mention a couple other things first. I'm going to move to another screen. Let me give you the last scenario. It's actually showing my phone moving, which means it's in somebody else's car heading away from town. So in addition to playing the sound, I've got two other options. I can implement lost mode, or I can erase my phone. Let me go back to my slides and explain those two options to you. So lost mode, if in the scenario where it was in the parking lot at the grocery store where I was 30 minutes ago, means it's probably still there, but it may not be there when I drive back there. I'm going to go to lost mode first before I drive to the grocery store. And there are on-screen instructions to walk you through this, but I can remotely lock my device with a passcode. You should be doing that anyway, but if you chose not to use a passcode, I can lock it now. So if somebody finds it, they can't open it. You can put a custom message on the screen saying, phone lost. If you find it, call and then give them your landline number or your neighbor's cell phone number or whatever, but some number that someone can call if they find your phone and they want to return it to the owner. You can disable Apple Pay. So if someone has gotten into your phone, they can't start buying stuff with your Apple Pay. And what you should also do is call your cell phone provider. So if you've got Verizon, call Verizon and tell them to forward all your calls and text to, again, your spouse's phone, your neighbor's phone, somebody else's phone. You know, that keeps people from being able to impersonate you and get access to your passwords and things. Plus, any calls that come in will go to a phone where they can be answered. Now, if you get to the grocery store and the phone's not there, or your phone is heading down the road away from your town, you would probably want to erase your data. So you just wipe your phone clean so that they can't do anything with your device. If your phone is on, it'll immediately erase it. If your phone is off, the next time they turn it on, it's going to erase it as soon as it turns on. Now, if you're using iCloud and you've got your phone backed up to iCloud, if you do recover it, you can restore it even after you've erased it. And if not, you can go buy a new phone and put it on the new phone. So questions about Find My Phone. And again, it works. I know it works with iPads. I think it works with a Mac as well. So if you do have other Apple devices, you can have them show up here as well. Okay, all right. If there's no questions, we are out of time. I think that was the last thing I was going to show you. Yes. So I do want to thank you for attending the class, and hope you enjoyed the class and learned some things about your phone, hopefully how your phone can help you stay safe. And if you are using social media to share your experiences, which we hope you are, be sure and tag us at Get Set Up on any of the posts that you make. There are a couple of related classes that I didn't mention here, but there's an iPhone basics class that covers just as the name suggests, the basics of how to use your phone. It talks about apps and widgets and the app library if you're not familiar with those things. And then there's an iPhone tips and tricks, which, as the name suggests, it's just some tips and tricks to use with your phone that we don't cover in the basics or in this class. And a couple other classes that I've got coming up that you might be interested in. There's an introduction to smart homes, how to use smart lights, smart doorbells, smart cameras, as well as a Google Slides. If you're interested in learning how to do presentations like the one I'm doing this with Google Slides. So in closing, there'll be an email that comes out after class. And in that email, there'll be links to several websites that you might be interested in. That some of it is more information about the topics we covered today in class, if you want to read up a little more. There'll also be links to some information related, but we didn't cover in class. I'll also put links to those classes I just mentioned, and Victor has put the smart home class in the chat as well, if you're interested in taking that class. If you would like to share this class with someone else, you enjoyed the class and you think, someone else you think would enjoy it, you can share a link via Facebook or via email, whichever you're more comfortable with. There'll be links to 3 other classes in the email. You can just click on that link. It'll take you directly to the registration page for that class. The Give Feedback link opens the feedback page, very quick and easy. 2 questions. How do you want to rate the class itself? Click on 1 to 5 stars. And how do you want to rate the guide? Click on 1 to 5 stars. Add your comments below and then hit done. Very quick and easy. We hope you're enjoying being part of the Get Set Up community. And if you are, there's some ways you can become even more active. If you would like to host an interest group, we don't have an interest group yet around iPhones. So if you'd like to get together with other people that have iPhones, share your tips and tricks and ideas and troubleshoot with each other, we would love to help set up that group for you on Get Set Up. Just send an email to help@getsetup.io. If there's a new class you'd like to see us offer, or if you belong to an organization you think would be a good partner for us, same email, help@getsetup.io. Also the same email for requesting a copy of the recording. If you want to go back into the recording from today's class, see some things that maybe you missed in the class, same email. Last link is View Schedule. Takes you to our website where you can book another class. A couple of things I will mention quickly to make sure you found them. These are fairly recent additions. Right in the middle of the screen, View My Complete Schedule. That'll take you to the My Schedule page. That's part of Schedule. My Schedule is the other way to get there. The shortcut saves you a couple of clicks. These are all the classes you've signed up for. You can launch those classes from over here when it's time to attend the class. If you know you can't attend that class, so you want to cancel it, you can cancel the class from here. Just click cancel and say why you want to cancel it and submit that, and it's now been canceled. If you're looking for a particular class or a particular category of classes, I think probably the easiest way to find it is just to use the search. So if I'm searching for...
I'm sorry, could you show again how you delete the class?
Sure.
Sorry.
So if you go to, I'll go the other way, the long way to get there. If you click schedule, then you can click My Schedule. Will get you to the same place we were. And this shows you everything you're scheduled for. Just click that cancel class right there. And that'll bring up the cancel.
I see it now, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Cancel. All right. Yeah. So if you're looking for a particular class and or a category of classes, I think the easiest way is to do a keyword search. So, so if you're looking for that smart homes class, you can just start typing it. You usually have to put one word in there, Introduction to Smart Homes. Click there and it'll take you to that class. You can confirm that's the one you're looking for, and you can book the class from here. And I'm waiting for that book to show up. Okay. And so that comes up here. So you can book that class. One thing we've just added as part of the booking, when you click book, and it's running a little slow today, but it's going to catch up with us in a second. I'll tell you what's going to happen. So it has the option to put it on your calendar, and you can put it on any of your calendars, Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, Yahoo Calendar, or iCalendar. But there's also now a link to share that class with someone else. So if you want to let someone else know, hey, I'm going to take this smart homes class. I thought you might want to take this class at the same time. So we'll be in the same class together and we can talk about it later. And there it is. So you can click invite a friend, and you could either put that person's email here and click send, or you could click here to copy a link to your, and then you could go over and paste that into your own email or into a Facebook post, wherever you want to copy it. Last thing, and I got 1 minute to do this, and we can do that. If there is a guide, or maybe there's several guides that you like their classes and you want to see what they're going to be teaching, you can just type that person's name, hit enter, and it will show you the classes that they're teaching over the next couple of weeks, and it's in chronological order going forward in time, starting with today and going forward. So again, you can look through their classes, and if you see one you want to take, you can book that class. Okay, that is everything. Any questions about booking classes or navigating the website? If not, that is the end of the class. Again, thank you so much for attending. Hope you enjoyed the class, and
Great
hope to
job,
see
Wade.
you soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Wade.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.